Welcome to Sriram's IAS. The topic for discussion is Lok Adalat or People's Court. So what is Lok Adalat? Supreme Court has recently organized Lok Adalat throughout the country, commemorating its 75th year of establishment. Okay, so what is Lok Adalat or People's Court? Lok Adalat or People's Court is one of the alternate dispute resolution mechanism. That is, it is one of the alternate dispute ADR mechanism, alternate dispute resolution mechanism, where the cases pending before a court or where the cases at pre-litigation stage are settled in an amicable manner. That is, cases pending before a court or cases which are at pre-litigation stage are settled in an amicable manner. So, Lok Adalat is one of the alternate disputes resolution mechanism where the cases pending before any court or cases at pre-litigation stage are settled in an amicable manner. So, how is the Lok Adalat established? Whether it's a statutory body or a constitutional body. Lok Adalat is a statutory, or it has been given a statutory status under the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987, enacted by the Parliament. Who conducts Lok Adalat? NALSA, National Legal Services Authority, and other legal services authorities established under the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987 conducts Lok Adalat. Lok Adalat is based on Gandhian principles. So, it has been given a statutory status under the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987 by the Parliament, and NALSA and other Legal Services Authorities Act conduct Lok Adalats. Lok Adalats are based on Gandhian principles. So, what are the reasons for establishing Lok Adalats? Equal justice and free legal aid, speedy trial of disputes and reducing backlogs. So let us try to understand each one of them. Okay? Equal justice and free legal aid is provided by the Constitution under Article 39A of the Directive Principles of the State Policy. Part 4, Articles 12 to Part 4, Articles 36 to 51. So, the Constitution states that, under Article 39A, states that every citizen is entitled to equal justice and free legal aid. Hence, the Parliament has enacted Legal Services Authorities Act 1987 and established the NALSA and other legal services authorities which conduct Lok Adalat. So, equal justice and free legal aid. Speedy trial of disputes. How speedy trial of disputes is carried out by Lok Adalats. The basic feature of Lok Adalats is procedural flexibility. Procedural flexibility. That is, there is no strict application of the procedural laws like CRPC and Evidence Act while assessing the claim by the Lok Adalat. So, it facilitates speedy trial of disputes. Reducing backlogs. The Indian judicial system is marred by massive backlogs or pending cases. So, the speedy trial of disputes, that is procedural flexibility, facilitates or clears massive backlogs. Clears massive backlogs in the Indian judicial system, as well as provides justice for all. And also there is no provides justice for all, and there is no clears massive backlogs and provides justice for all, and the cases do not linger on for years in the Lok Adalats. They can be resolved within a day. They can be resolved within a day. Okay. So, what about? So, having understood the reasons, now let us try to find out what about the decisions of the legal Lok Adalat. Under the said act, that is Legal Services Authorities Act 1987, the award or decision of the Lok Adalat is deemed to be an order or decree of a civil court. Order or decree of the civil court, and is final and binding on all the parties. No appeal against the order of the Lok Adalat lies before any court. Okay. So, if the parties are not satisfied with the decision of the Lok Adalats, though there is no provision for an appeal against the decision, the parties are free to litigate before the court of appropriate jurisdiction by following the required procedures in the exercise of right to litigation. Okay. So, award and decision made by the Lok Adalat. Award and decision made by the Lok Adalat is deemed to be the order or decree of the civil court, which is final and binding on all the parties. No appeal against the award of the Lok Adalat, but they have right to litigate. If they are not satisfied, they can approach the court of appropriate jurisdiction and file the case. So, what about the jurisdiction of the Lok Adalat? That is, what type of cases are taken up by the Lok Adalat? The Lok Adalat possesses jurisdiction over a diverse array of cases: civil disputes, criminal cases, compoundable, family matters. Okay, so the Lok Adalat jurisdiction extends to civil disputes, criminal cases and family matters. Criminal cases only compoundable. So what type of nature of cases referred to the Lok Adalat? Referred to the Lok Adalat. So what type of cases are referred to the Lok Adalat? Any case pending before any court. Any case pending before any court. Cases which are not brought before any court but are likely to be filed before that court. That is cases at pre-litigation stage. Pre-litigation stage, and matters relating to only compoundable offences. That is, matters where the parties can reach a settlement and take back the case from the court, or take back the case from the court. That is, matters concerned only with compoundable offences, wherein the parties can reach settlement and take back the case from the court. So, what about the fee? Court fee. No court fee is payable for any case filed before the Lok Adalat. If a case pending before any court is referred to the Lok Adalat and settled subsequently, the original amount paid or the fees paid on the complaint or petition by the parties is completely refunded. Okay, so there is no court fees for a case filed before the Lok Adalat, and a case pending before a court having been referred to the Lok Adalat and settled subsequently, the amount paid, the original amount paid or the fees paid in the court on the complaint or petition is completely refunded. So what about the composition? Every Lok Adalat organized for an area shall have such members of serving and retired judicial officers, and other members as may be specified by the agency organizing it. Okay, by the agency organizing it. That is, the agency organizing decides the number of judicial officers, plus other members. So generally, what is the composition of Lok Adalat? Judicial officer as the chairman, lawyer or advocate, and social worker of that area. Okay, so every Lok Adalat organized for an area shall have such members of serving and retired judiciary and other members as may be specified by the agency organizing it. Okay, so originally or generally it consists of 3 members, that is a judicial officer as a chairman, lawyer, advocate or a social worker of that area. Now, does the Lok Adalat have a judicial role? No, the Lok Adalat does not have a judicial role. The members who are deciding the cases in the Lok Adalat are called the members of the Lok Adalat. They have only they have only statutory, they have only the role of statutory conciliators. Okay, their role is that of a statutory conciliators only. Okay, they have no judicial role, and the persons who are deciding the cases are the members in the Lok Adalat, are the members of the Lok Adalat. They have only the role of statutory conciliators. Now, they can only persuade the parties for settlement of dispute outside the court in Lok Adalat. They cannot pressurize or coerce any of the party for compromise or settlement of case or matters either directly or indirectly. So they don't have judicial role. The persons who are deciding cases in the Lok Adalat are members of the Lok Adalat. They have the role of statutory conciliators only. They can only persuade the parties for the settlement of disputes outside the courts in Lok Adalat. They cannot pressurize or coerce any party for compromise or settlement of disputes either directly or indirectly. Now, how is the dispute resolution? Dispute resolution in Lok Adalat is by direct interaction. Between the members of the Lok Adalat and the parties concerned. Lok Adalat members and the parties concerned. Okay, so dispute resolution is by direct interaction between the members of the Lok Adalat and parties concerned. So, how is the decision taken in Lok Adalat? Is the decision taken on its own instance, or the parties decide for compromise and settlement? So, the Lok Adalat, the matters referred to the Lok Adalats are not decided at its own instance, the parties, but by compromise, not at its own instance, but by compromise and settlement between the parties. That is, the parties decide to compromise or settlement. They only assist in an independent and impartial manner for the settlement of disputes in an amicable way. Okay, so the decision in the Lok Adalats for matters referred to it is not at its own instance, but by the compromise and settlement between the parties, and they can only assist in an independent and impartial manner for the amicable settlement or settlement of disputes in an amicable way.